Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Wednesday, January 27, 2021. BBC report. New Zealand urges people to ditch influencer-style tourism photos. A tongue-in-cheek video says the country is clamping down on travelers under the social influence. The campaign urges people to avoid cliched poses like the hot tub backshot and the summit spread eagle. Officials say they launched the campaign after repeatedly seeing the same pictures and poses. There are so many incredible things to do in New Zealand, beyond the social trends, Bjorn Spreitzer, Tourism NZ domestic manager, told local news site Stuff.
CNN report. Yulia Navalnaya's husband was poisoned and detained, now she is piling pressure on Vladimir Putin. Why are you detaining me? Have I violated any laws? Demanded Yulia Navalnaya, as 4 policemen surrounded her on Saturday. She was on her way to a protest in Moscow, where thousands had gathered to demand the release of her husband, Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny, from jail. She was freed a few hours later, once riot police had dispersed the crowds. Nevertheless, the promptness with which Moscow police tracked her down and detained her speaks to the fears she and her husband spark in the Kremlin, as protests rage across Russia.
Fox report. Iran pushing Biden to act first, drop sanctions before reviving nuclear deal. Iran's foreign minister is reportedly urging President Biden to make the first move toward reviving a 2015 nuclear deal by removing all sanctions imposed since former President Donald Trump assumed office, despite lingering concerns about the Islamic Republic's pursuit of atomic weapons. Mohammad Javad Zarif made the comments in a recent article published by Foreign Affairs magazine, in which he added that Iran's willingness to go back to the agreement would erode if the Biden administration demands further concessions up front, according to Reuters.
Deutsche Welle report. Controversial Polish abortion law to go into effect. Poland's controversial abortion law, which amounts to a near-total ban on the medical procedure, is set to go into effect on Wednesday, according to the Government Information Center. It announced in a message on Twitter, the Constitutional Court has submitted a written justification to the judgment on the protection of life. In accordance with constitutional requirements, the judgment will be published today in the Official Journal of Laws.
Al Jazeera report. Fed's Powell US economic recovery hinges on vaccination drives. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell on Wednesday said that the United States economic recovery hinges on the progress of vaccination drives. There's nothing more important to the economy than people getting vaccinated, Powell told reporters during a virtual press conference following the Fed's 2-day policy meeting. Powell added that he has been vaccinated once and expects to get his second jab soon.
Al Jazeera report. DR Congo Parliament votes to remove Prime Minister Ilunga. Legislators in the Democratic Republic of the Congo (DRC) have voted to remove Prime Minister Sylvestre Ilunga Ilunkumba, collapsing the government and handing President Félix Tshisekedi a chance to appoint loyalists to key ministries. Wednesday's vote marks the latest episode in a power struggle that has roiled sub-Saharan Africa's biggest nation for months, pitching Tshisekedi against loyalists to former President Joseph Kabila, who ruled the DRC for 18 years.
Fox report. Proud Boys leader was informer for federal, local law enforcement. Report. Enrique Tarrio, the leader of the far-right Proud Boys group, was an informer for federal and local law enforcement, helping them prosecute more than a dozen people in cases that involved drugs, gambling, and human smuggling, according to a Tuesday report. The information was revealed by a former prosecutor and a transcript of a 2014 federal court proceeding obtained exclusively by Reuters. In an interview with the outlet, Tarrio denied working undercover for law enforcement, saying that he didn't recall any of this.
Deutsche Welle report. Coronavirus. EU expresses dismay over AstraZeneca vaccine delays. The European Union expressed its dismay with AstraZeneca on Wednesday, reiterating its stance that the pharmaceutical giant was reneging on its coronavirus vaccine agreement with the bloc. European Commissioner for Health Stella Kyriakides said that the EU held serious concerns regarding the intention of AstraZeneca to supply considerably fewer doses in the coming weeks than agreed and announced. We have been making all efforts to resolve the situation, she said at a briefing.
BBC report. U.S. issues heightened threat alert after transition. It said there was no information on a specific or credible plot. An attack on the U.S. Capitol by Trump supporters on the 6th of January has led to scores of arrests. Earlier that day, as Congress was meeting to confirm Joe Biden's election victory, the incumbent President Donald Trump had addressed thousands of his supporters outside the White House and repeated unfounded claims that the election was stolen from him.
Al Jazeera report. Music service Angami moving from crisis hit Lebanon to UAE. Beirut, Lebanon. Music streaming service Angami is relocating its headquarters from Beirut to Abu Dhabi, in a move that will be seen as a blow to the startup scene of crisis-hit Lebanon. Founded 8 years ago in the Lebanese capital by entrepreneurs Eddie Maroun and Eli Habib, the service has now grown to cater to more than 70 million users across the Middle East and North Africa. The move, announced on Tuesday, is expected to take place within 2 months and is aimed at solidifying the company's presence in key regional markets.
Deutsche Welle report. Holocaust Remembrance Day. Auschwitz remembers victims with digital memorial. Holocaust survivors as well as Polish, Russian and Israeli officials commemorated the 76th anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz on Wednesday. Polish President Andrzej Duda noted that despite the difficulties posed by ongoing coronavirus pandemic, it was vital to still hold memorials in any capacity. It is an important signal that we must always, whatever the circumstances, fulfill our duty as witnesses to memory and guardians of the truth about the Holocaust, he said in a speech.
Fox report. Tennessee hunter witnessed double murder at lake, officials say, as search for 70-year-old suspect continues. A Tennessee hunter told investigators that he witnessed the murders of 2 duck hunters at a lake early Monday, officials said, as the 70-year-old suspect remains on the loose. Warrants were issued Tuesday for the arrest of David Vowell, who is considered armed and dangerous, on 2 charges of first-degree murder in the deaths of 26-year-old Chance Black and 25-year-old Zachary Grooms at Reelfoot Lake in Obion County, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said.
BBC report. Rawlings funeral. Ghanaians bid farewell to ex-president. During a turbulent career, he led 2 coups before twice being elected president in multi-party polls. He died in November at the age of 73 of an undisclosed illness, but his funeral was delayed, in part by political squabbling. The ceremony was held at Independence Square, with numbers attending limited by coronavirus restrictions. But many Ghanaians headed to the square despite being asked by the government to watch the ceremony on TV in an effort to curb the spread of coronavirus, the BBC's Thomas Noddy reports from Accra.
CNN report. Walmart's latest strategy to get your stuff to you faster. Walmart plans to build automated mini warehouses in dozens of its stores to speed up customers' online delivery and curbside pickup orders in a race against Amazon. Walmart announced Wednesday that it will add dozens of 20,000 square foot to 30,000 square foot automated fulfillment centers in the coming years, either in the backrooms of its stores or next to them. In the centers, robots will gather thousands of pantry items and frozen foods instead of employees, which Walmart says speeds up the process.
CNN report. This carmaker says it topped 300 miles per hour once before, but it's not so easy to do it again. In October, a small U.S. automaker called SSC North America claimed its 1750 horsepower Tuatara supercar had gone more than 300 miles an hour, breaking official world speed records for a street-legal passenger car. It wasn't long before bloggers and automotive journalists began questioning the video showing the supposed record run. And while SSC did not back down from its claim that its car actually hit 331 miles per hour, it admitted that there had been problems with the synchronization and timing in its video proof.
Fox report. Boris Johnson effectively extends UK coronavirus lockdown after delaying school reopenings. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson effectively extended a national coronavirus lockdown on Wednesday after ruling out a return to school for most students until at least March 8. The lockdown initially went into effect on Jan. 5 and was set to last through at least mid-February in an effort to combat a variant of the coronavirus that was rapidly spreading in the region. But Johnson told lawmakers on Wednesday that the
CNN report. Too little, too late. Dethroned Italian prince criticized over apology for king's role in rubber-stamping fascist laws. A letter from a descendant of Italy's wartime king, apologizing for his ancestors' role in enabling Mussolini's fascist policies during World War II, has been criticized by historians and Jewish groups after several decades of silence from members of the disbanded royal family. Emanuele Filiberto of Savoy, the great-grandson of King Victor Emmanuel III, wrote a letter to the country's Jewish community in which he said his family's role in rubber-stamping dictator Benito Mussolini's anti-Semitic laws caused a wound still open for the whole of Italy.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. Recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.